Langrisser 1 and 2 is releasing soon on Steam, PS4, and the Switch. If you haven't tried the demo or don't have time to, I'll be going over the mechanics of Langrisser in more detail to give a better understanding of what gameplay is like. Langrisser has similar features to Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, just to give a point of reference, but it's also different in a lot of ways. I'll start with combat and then move on to the structure of the game while talking about its different systems. The core mechanics in Langrisser are no different than any other tactical RPG. Each battle has an objective to be completed, such as defeating all enemies, and a fail condition, like if the main character dies. You take turns with the enemy to perform actions which consist of movement, attacking, or casting spells with units on a grid field. Experience is only gained when defeating an enemy or when casting support spells. Something a bit unique about Langrisser is the inability to cast spells after moving, causing spellcasters to remain mostly stationary. Otherwise, the rest of combat plays as expected. When units attack, both sides fight each other and cause damage at the same time. Although units with range, such as archers, will be able to attack without retaliation against units with less range. In addition, units with higher health will deal more damage, while units with lower health will deal less. Environments will also affect a unit's defensive stats. For instance, a mountain will increase their physical defense by 15%, while treading water decreases their physical and magical defense by 10%. Before the fighting starts, players are able to select and position their heroes in specific starting positions, although at some points in the story this is not possible. During this time, mercenaries can also be hired by a hero to fight for them for a fee, with stronger mercenaries obviously costing more. There are many different types of mercenaries available for hire, with stronger tiers being unlocked later in the game. Langrisser contains a tactical rock-paper-scissors mechanic found in many SRPGs, so it's important to keep that in mind when hiring mercenaries. Each mercenary has a type, with the main three being infantry, spearmen, and cavalry. Infantry beats spearmen, spearmen beats cavalry, and cavalry beats infantry. There are also other types outside of this basic triangle that follow their own advantages. Archers are good against Sky Knights, and priests are good against ghosts. There is a lot to remember, but Langrisser does a good job by telling you if you're at an advantage with the icons shown on the unit you're about to attack. Yellow arrows pointing up will mean an advantage, while blue arrows pointing down will mean disadvantage. If you see a scale, it means both units are equal. Mercenaries can only attack and move, have no special abilities, and cannot equip items but are essential to use in order to win. They are under the player's full control, and any experience they gain from a kill will be given to the hero that hired them. As mentioned previously, mercenaries are required to win and are the main bulk of the attack force, but heroes are just as important as mercenaries. They are the heroes of the story after all. They're powerful characters that are very customizable. They can equip items and have 2 slots to assign passive skills to that can provide strong bonuses. Each hero also has a class tree they can progress through. New classes can be unlocked by using CP, which is gained after leveling, or by being the MVP in battle with the most kills. Unlocking new classes will allow the hero to learn new abilities, skills, be able to hire stronger mercenaries, and just be stronger overall. The best thing about Langrisser's class system is the freedom to change between classes. A hero's class is not permanent and can be swapped without having to worry about any negative effects. All abilities, mercenaries, and skills unlocked from different class branches can be used no matter which class the hero is, making it really easy to create a powerful character. For example, with Chris, I had her become a class known as Princess, but I also unlocked some lower tier mage classes from other branches to improve her spell arsenal, giving her more value in battle. Heroes play another important role on the battlefield besides being a powerhouse. They have what is known as the Area of Command bonus, which is basically an aura around the hero that gives all their mercenaries a substantial boost if they stand in it. This puts a huge emphasis on unit positioning, allowing mercenaries to kill or survive in instances where they wouldn't be able to if they were not in the aura. The aura's range starts off small, but it's possible to make it stronger. The range and bonuses can be increased by unlocking higher tier classes and equipping items that can be found during gameplay or bought at shops before battle. Heroes also provide support to mercenaries by healing any that stand directly next to them at the beginning of a turn. If a hero dies, all their mercenaries will also disappear, so it's something to watch out for. Defeating enemy heroes directly is a viable strategy to clear the field of enemies in a pinch, but the downside is that a lot of experience and gold will be lost. so act accordingly to your situation. It's usually always better to kill the mercenaries off first. If your own hero dies, you don't have to worry because there isn't permadeath like in Fire Emblem, so having a hero die in battle just means they retreated. I'm not exactly sure if this affects anything besides the stats shown at the end of the game, but I think it might affect their epilogue if they retreat at least once. If the main character dies or the mission was a failure, all progress is still kept. So all experience and loot gained and gold spent are saved, but you're just kicked back to the main menu again to prep for battle, giving combat a bit of a more casual feel. Similarly, you can just retreat in the middle of combat with the same effect. That covers everything about combat gameplay and progression. So the last thing is the structure of the game. It's divided into chapters, with each chapter having one encounter to complete before moving on. There are no random battles and the game is on rails the whole time, although it's possible to affect how a story will progress through the actions taken in combat or the choices made during expository scenes. Minor dialogue changes can also be seen in the upcoming cutscenes if a character is forced to retreat in battle, which is a nice little detail. If you want to revisit previous chapters, that's easily doable through the story tree, which allows any of the completed chapters to be returned to with all progress intact. This makes it much easier to see all the story paths and endings, or if you just want to replay a battle to grind. However, it will be impossible to return to future chapters without playing through all the levels again. After completing the game, New Game Plus is unlocked as well as New Challenger mode that makes the game harder each time it's cleared, giving players who want more of a challenge just that. Although you might have to clear the game a few times before it actually becomes difficult. Hopefully this has given you a better idea of what it's like to actually play Langrisser 1 and 2. If you're on the fence about whether or not to get this game, check out my review video for a second opinion where I go into more detail about what the game does well and not so well. You can also check out the demo and get a feel for everything that's been gone over. If there is anything else you have questions about, be sure to leave a comment and I'll respond to it if I can.